Just like that, it's the Rewatchers Council. Guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Adelia joining us once again. And
Mm-hmm.
boy, what an episode. I will say a very good episode.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, it's the season three leaves a pretty high bar, and it's close. It's a close to reaching that upper echelon, maybe just a little under. It's fun, and has some classic bits to it. But we're going to talk all about season three, episode 8, Lovers Walk. Right now, its original air date, Adelia, November 24th, 1998.
So we're very close to the same day,
The
the anniversary
Thanksgiving,
day.
the Thanksgiving season in
It
your
is,
United
yeah.
States of America.
It's
Probably at the
Thanksgiving
same
Day
time.
today, the day this is airing.
There you go. We're celebrating this. They have Thanksgiving episodes for Buffy. This just
Mm-hmm.
does not happen to be one, even though it very well should have been. Next, it's written by Dan Weber. Uh, he's not going to write too many episodes. I think he only writes maybe one more, if I can remember right. But he would go on to write for a lot of things that you may know. Previous to this, he wrote for Space Ghost. I don't know if this was
Okay.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast at that time. But after this, he'd go on to write and be a co-executive producer for both The Simpsons and Futurama. So there you are.
Okay.
Uh, this is directed by David Semel. It's his last of 4 episodes. So, Bon Voyage, uh, David Semel, I guess. I don't know how else
Yeah.
to finish that. This last one he did was Go Fish.
Okay.
So, I think this one was better than Go Fish. So, there
This
you go.
one was definitely better than Go Fish.
Now, what was happening in the world of 1998? Number one movie, the Rugrats movie.
I don't remember that at all.
I remember the Rugrats. I
I
never
remember the
watched it.
Rugrats.
I remember them existing, but I never saw anything to do with either the Rugrats show or the movie. Number one song in the U.S. Doo Wop, That Thing, Lauryn Hill,
Excellent song.
classic. And the number one song in the UK, probably a more famous song than this, but some people would consider it a classic. I would not be one. Believe by Cher.
I mean, yes, to some people that would be a classic. Not to
The
me.
thing, the thing that brought auto tuning into the public, really
Ugh.
public. Number one song in Canada because can't leave out Canada, even though we had Thanksgiving last month, like proper decent people. Sweetest Thing by U2.
Okay.
Ugh, is this one maybe the most boring U2 song? I'm not a huge U2 fan,
I'm
mind you,
not either.
but this is not this is a pretty boring song. DVD synopsis time: Spike returns to Sunnydale and kidnaps Willow so she can create a magic spell that will make Drusilla love him once more.
I mean, that's fairly accurate.
I think it leaves a lot out.
Leaves out, but is
Leaves
fairly accurate.
the meat
They
of
don't
the
say
episode
anything
sandwich.
that doesn't happen
That's true. It just doesn't say a lot that does happen.
yet.
Anyways, going into the episode, and lucky us, the SAT scores are in. Adelia,
Mm-hmm.
Willow only gets a 740 on her verbal, which I'm imagining that's pretty good.
That's very good, yes.
Yeah, there's no SATs in Canada. You gonna tell everyone here what your SAT scores were, Adelia? I
I
wouldn't.
didn't
I would not
SAT.
do it. You didn't do it either.
No.
Now,
Took the other test, which is the ACT, and I don't remember what my score was.
so we mentioned before that Dan Weber wrote this episode, and immediately there's a Simpsons reference in this episode
Mm-hmm.
because Willow considers herself to be like Cletus the slack-jawed yokel.
Okay.
You remember Cletus the slack-jawed yokel, Adelia?
No, because I've never watched The Simpsons.
Well, they say some folks they won't eat skunk, and then again some folks will, like Cletus the Slack-jawed yokel. Did you know that?
No,
Did you know that some folks won't lose a toe, but then again some folks will,
no.
like Cletus the Slack-jawed yokel? Well, there you go. That's
Okay.
who Willow Rosenberg compares herself to.
Okay.
Yeah. Xander had a combined 740, he says, which I'm imagining isn't fantastic.
That's not
If
great.
one
No.
if one person got a 740 just on one part, I guess it's a verbal and a written. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't uh like a like an obstacle course to do or anything like that.
No. No. No.
Yeah,
No.
okay. Yeah. So he starts consoling Willow, until of course Cordy and Oz show. Cordy and Oz, by the way, show up together a lot.
Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah, two people who are not anywhere should never really be together, except inside of these two relationships. Seem to
Yeah.
show up together quite a bit. Anyways, of course, Xander does a little bit of his slapstick buffoonery. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And Cordelia lets everyone know that she kicked ass at it. Again, she's good at standardized tests. She's told us that before. So the idea of a celebratory double date is raised.
Yeah.
And so what most people want to celebrate with a whole bunch of people, I guess. Now Buffy shows up looking, what's the word? Stunned.
Stunned. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like she saw a ghost. Get it? Anyways, she didn't get it. So she got a 1430.
That's pretty good.
Which I imagine if Willow got a 740 and you times that by two, that's pretty close to 1430. It has Buffy thinking of a future outside Sunnydale now. Cordy hopes that she leaves and never comes back. But in a good way, you know what? In a good
Yeah,
way.
in a good way. Because who would
Yeah.
want to come back to the Hellmouth?
Let's also put a pin on Cordy wanting Buffy to leave and never come back.
Yeah.
She asks, what loser would ever want to come back to Sunnydale? And of course, we're going to get a cut to the Welcome to Sunnydale sign and a familiar scene of a car running over the Sunnydale sign. This time, a familiar face sort of pours himself out of the driver's seat. I notice that this man's back window is not painted in the car at
No.
this moment for some reason.
No. Yeah.
Whoops. It's a good thing he only drives towards the sun. Spike is back. He says, home sweet home, before ultimately passing out. That's not very responsible
Yep.
driving.
No, it's definitely not very responsible driving.
Sometimes
I
the
didn't
greatest monsters
remember.
are the drunk drivers.
I didn't remember that vampires could drink alcohol.
I bring that up too. I don't think they can. I don't get this at all. I think you could tell that Dan Weber, is new to the show. Maybe they didn't have like a show Bible or something like that. He's mentioned that he's had acid trips because he went to Woodstock and fed on the flower children. But we've never seen him actually just drinking booze before. Though
Yeah.
we mixed it with some kind of weird plasma or something like that. I guess you could imagine a world where that happens, but I don't know. Yeah, this was not great. Not great continuity wise. So he heads back to the factory. He's crying that Drew left him, Adelia.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Xander trying to convince Cordy to go bowling on this double date. Cordelia Chase bowling does not
I
seem
just can't.
natural.
I can't picture that.
Yeah.
Cordy bowling. No.
He does notice that she has pictures of him up in her locker now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
so we
sweet.
know, their relationship is only going forward here. It's only good things can happen with them. Oz and Will then show up. They agree to all the bowling. Willow and Oz then head to their locker. He gives her a witch Pez dispenser. Just
Yeah, that was also very sweet.
look how nice and tight and true everyone is to each other here.
They're so not.
these kids are going to be just fine. Willow says that she doesn't have anything to give. Now, Willow says she doesn't have anything to give you. And you could take what he says here a couple of ways.
Mm-hmm.
He just says, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Now, that could mean, if you take it the wrong way, you could imagine a world where Willow has been feeling pressured
Mm-hmm.
into maybe progressing in this relationship faster than she's comfortable with. And that's why she's finding solace with her friend Xander, who she's known forever and has never gone
Yeah.
to that spot before. Or you could say, when he says, yeah, you do, it could just mean that Oz enjoys her company. That's what he
Yeah.
enjoys most. So you'd like to say that Daniel Osborne is a good man. So I like to think the former. You know what I mean? But
You mean the
and
latter?
sorry, the latter.
Former.
The former would be, I think, a bit of a stretch for Oz.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah. Me
he's just
too.
not that good. Yeah. Anyways, Giles pressed by Buffy's SAT scores. He's turns out he's going to go on a watcher's retreat. So they have all these watcher retreats in England and stuff like that, which is all very nice and stuff like that. This watcher retreat is like 45 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Clearing in some hills. All the council is going to come over there, and it used to be a host to a bunch of druidic rituals.
I mean, sure.
Sure, there's Stonehenge, and Sunnydale. And this is what the druids have always been known for. Anyways, Buffy tells him that her mom was ecstatic about the results. And it's brought up her going away to college. For Giles now isn't against it. He says that Faith could pick up some of the slack for while she's gone. He is concerned about her seeing Angel still, which is, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
murdered his girlfriend and tortured him. I don't know why he should be so worried. At least this time, she doesn't lie to him. She admits that she's going to be seeing him, but that they're just friends. So maybe a little,
Yeah.
maybe a little white lie.
Maybe a little bit of a lie.
It's not the worst lie she's ever done. Now we cut to Willow and Xander. Willow thinks that the double date's a bad idea, and that their secret won't be so secret. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We find out something quite disturbing. Willow's turned on by rented shoes.
Yeah,
Adelia.
that was weird. That was really weird.
And rented
I don't.
shoes.
I don't even understand the point line in
Yeah,
there. Like,
it's not a strong joke for sure.
no.
Yeah, there's got to be there's. Ugh, I don't even want to find out what the word is. Actually, I do want to find out what the word is. I'll do that later. Xander tries to talk her down by saying they're just two old friends who had a couple indiscretions here, Adelia, but
Uh huh.
they won't be doing it anymore. Also, he'd like to kiss
Sure.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh, anyways, now he thinks bowling might be bad. He says he wishes he wasn't so attracted to her and that they could make it stop. He wishes he wasn't so attracted to her all of a sudden. He just wanted to stop. Anyways, we go back to the summer abode. Joyce is talking about schools. Buffy seeming to be a little less interested. Joyce wants her to have the regular college experience. Buffy's, of course, worrying about her responsibilities all of a sudden. Joyce tells her it's time for her to think about her future. Now, this is something obviously that Buffy has not put too much thought into, considering
Mm-hmm.
she's already died once. For goodness sakes. And Joyce asks if there's anything keeping her here. And classic cut to Angel. Angel reading Sartre by the fire. Adelia. If you can get any more broody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spike's spying on him like he's Xander now. Angel leaves the room. Spike starts soliloquying about how Angel ruined everything, that he and Drew were happy. And this is, he's getting hammered on just regular booze. That's not
Yeah.
blood booze. What's going
No.
on here? Then he trips on a fountain and passes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, he wakes up to the mouth-watering aroma of sizzling hot vampire, Adelia.
Ugh, gross.
Luckily, yeah, this time only his hand is on fire. His coat protects him, though. He just wraps his coat around him. This is something that you will see over the course of the next few seasons, how they
Hmm.
find a way to get Spike around Sunnydale while it's daylight out for whatever reason. Anyways, he gets back to his car. By the way, this car, the back window was tinted. I guess he realized his mistake quickly when he got to Sunnydale
Yeah.
and painted up that back window. Yeah, I just want to say again, I don't care if you're a vampire. Drinking and driving is irresponsible.
Yes, it is.
Be a monster the old-fashioned way. Next time we see him, it's in daylight again, but he's at the magic box, Adelia.
Yeah.
Super happy to see the magic box. He's looking for a curse, something boily or leperish. Or not licorice, leperish. Then Willow shows up with an ingredient list. The clerk somehow automatically knows it's for a love spell and asks her if she wants to bring an old flame back, which piques Spike's interest. We can do that.
Hmm.
Willow says, no. Well, yes, it's actually a delusting spell. They need to delust each other, not delouse, Adelia. That's a
Hmm.
different spell. You can tell it was the 90s because this whole entire list that she had of weird things cost $15.90.
Absolutely. That was one of my first thoughts when I saw this scene. I was like, that would never cost that little these days.
No, that would be $130, please. Well, at least, unfortunately, when the Clark gets back to Spike, he eats her. You know,
Yeah.
he says he now has a better idea. Filling up on magic boxes. Not the greatest profession. That's twice.
No.
That's twice now that they've taken care of a magic clerk. Now we get to see the mayor practicing his putting. He says he'd
Hmm.
sell his soul for a decent short game, Adelia, which is fun. Says
Yeah.
if he hadn't done it already. Then he wonders if he could offer Deputy Mayor Finch's soul. Just a look on his face is a
Hmm.
classic. A little mortified, I suppose, but he says he's just funning because he's folksy at heart, the mayor.
Absolutely.
He knows that Spike's back. He talks about the fun they had just watching him go around the last year, thinking of what he'd do next. But there's going to be no shenanigans this year
Hmm.
because it's far too important a year. So, a committee is assembled and sent to take care of him. Poor Spike. He
Poor
was just
Spike.
so lovelorn. Anyways, Angel and Buffy are talking in college. She says her mom makes good points about her leaving. She says there are reasons to stay, though. Angel asks what those are. She just says her responsibilities because no one can say the truth to each other. This time,
Yep.
maybe luckily. Angel says as a friend, she should leave. Buffy seems not to care for that answer, though, and leaves. So there you go.
Hmm.
This is a scene that was needed for some reason. Willow and has Xander meet her in the chem lab at school because these things are open seemingly 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I'm very confused as to how the students can just go in and out whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, well. Yeah, this time it's under the ruse of studying, though, because, Xander needs all the help with chem class he can get, which is true. And it turns out, though, spell time, it is not chem lab time, Adelia.
Yep.
Yeah, Xander, though, hasn't figured it out yet. Willow tells him that Oz and Cordy will be meeting them there. Why would she do that?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know what we got to do? Is we got to figure out this delusting spell. And we got to make sure that we do it in just enough time so that our partners are going to meet us here within seconds of it being finished. Whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but unfortunately, Xander does notice that spell book that says, witchcraft on it,
Craft on the
which
front
is
of it. Yeah.
pretty, pretty basic thing to figure out. And he does figure out that it's going to be love spell stuff. Reminds her he doesn't have the best luck with these things, which is pretty
Hmm.
fun. Willow wants to use magic to fix human feelings. She's going to be doing this a lot, guys. She gets in a little bit of trouble for this a little later on. Anyways, she's feeling guilt ridden right now. She needs to do something. Xander tells her to clean up before the others arrive, but another has arrived. Adelia,
It's Spike.
Spike punches Xander. Willow grabs a microscope to hit him with. That microscope looked heavy.
It did.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. He takes it away from her easily and knocks out Xander. Poor Xander. We should have had a Xander board too. Like
We should have, yeah.
between him and Giles, the CTE. Anyways, so he takes them both to the factory. Tells Willow that he's going to that she's going to do a love spell for him. She says she's going to try, but that's not good enough for Spike. He busts a bottle, grabs her by the hair, and tells her if she fails, she'll push that bottle into her face. Adelia.
Yeah, that seems like Spike to me.
It didn't seem like a neighborly thing to do. Like,
It's
especially you haven't
has
yet.
Spike ever demonstrated that he's very neighborly?
Well, we'll see. Willow sobs and says she will, and it just reaffirms the thing. It's like, you do not mess with Willow because you'll
Yeah.
make everybody very angry. Now, Spike starts whining about Drew and that she wouldn't even kill him, and that's all because he had that truce with Buffy. His softness meant he wasn't a demon enough for her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Willow has to listen to this. There's two parallel scenes. There's this scene, and then there's a scene coming up. And I believe is it the first episode of the fourth season with the initiative? Anyways, there's another scene that very well mimics this. Anyways, poor Willow has to listen to all of this stuff, and everything has changed for them when they went to Brazil. So somehow Spike and Drew got to get to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell would ever want to be in Brazil? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I haven't heard of anything good ever coming out of Brazil. So he says that he caught her making out with a chaos demon on a bench.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you what a chaos demon looks like.
Okay.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
It's all slime and antlers.
Yeah. No. No thanks.
Still, more demon than Spike, I guess. Anyways, I do appreciate that Willow gives him a there and a little tap on the knee. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then Spike smells her, gets the vamp face up. But Willow talks him down by mentioning the spell again. She's unsure it's going to work. Says if it doesn't work, he'll kill Xander. And she tells him that she needs more stuff. And he asks where it is. ... You know what I mean? I'm trying to build tension here. Because we switch to the Buffy in the library. Oz and Cordy show up. There's something wrong. They bring her to the chemical lab. Cordy wonders if Willow made them invisible, which is nice. I like that callback.
Mm-hmm.
Or Xander Ishy. Ishy? It didn't make any sense. There's no blood.
I don't know.
There's no blood, even though Xander got hit pretty hard. Could mean they were taken. She seems she gets them to find Giles at his retreat, which is only 45 minutes away. 45 minutes. That's pretty lucky. She heads back to the library, gets a call from her mom, who wants to talk college again for some reason. Like, let it go, Joyce, for the night. I think, you know what I mean? You're going to scare her off. But then she hears Spike say, hello, Joyce. So she starts running off. Yeah. By the way, in the history of the show, one of my all-time favorite dynamics, of course, Joyce and Spike. Yeah. I really love these two together. And this is a quick scene with them. And I can't think if there's ever another scene with them. But yeah, this one's really good. He tells her about what happened with Drew. Joyce calls her unreasonable, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, Joyce is always nicer to Spike than she ever is with Buffy. Joyce gives him some earnest advice about how lives can take two different paths. And then, she starts mentioning how her and Buffy's father went separate paths. Spike has to mention that his love for Drew was literally eternal, blah, 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 blah. I'm getting a little bratty. Then he asked
Yeah.
for some little tiny marshmallows for his cocoa. So, not only is he drinking just actual booze,
He's
he's drinking
drinking hot cocoa.
he's drinking human cocoa. Well,
Yeah, it makes
not
no
human
sense.
cocoa.
Not human
Yeah,
cocoa, but like
regular
hot.
cocoa and
Yeah,
marshmallows.
it makes no
Anyways,
sense.
we get an all-time part here. One of the best scenes in Buffy when Angel shows up. Joyce is afraid of Angel. He thinks he's crazy, and she's there to kill him. Spike reminds him that he's uninvited to the house. Angel pleads with her to let him in. Spike calls him a very bad man as he
Mhm.
makes faces behind Joyce. I love it. Fane's
It's
biting
great.
her behind the back.
Yeah, it's
Angel
great.
Angel threatens to cut off Spike's head. Spike says, "You and whose army?" And of course, that's when Buffy's going to be there. He says, "Me."
Mhm.
Pushes him up against the island, invites Angel in, which was a cool scene. Tells Buffy if he's gone, she'll never find Willow or Xander. Then she says she'll do a spell and he'll leave. If they get in his way, they're the ones that killed him, which is not a nice thing to say,
That's not a
Uh,
nice thing to say at all, no.
New Oz and Cordy are now on the way to the hills when we get the first instant of Oz when he stops the van and he says he can smell Willow. Cordy is grossed out by this,
Mhm.
which is understandable. Also, Oz is a little grossed out by this as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, what's the residual werewolfness of it all, I suppose. Then we see Spike and Angel and Buffy downtown. Spike starts sobering up. I guess that's the problem with drinking regular booze. Now he wishes he was dead, which is fun. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Buffy would like to grant that wish. Angel stops her, reminding her of her friends. Ugh. Buffy says he probably just has them in the factory, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's the look that Spike gives at him. What? Anyways, Spike stops to reminisce about killing a homeless man on a bench with Drew. That's one is,
How lovely.
there's, I defy you to find anything more romantic than eating a homeless person on a bench with your
I
loved
can think
one.
of a lot of things that would be more romantic than that, but sure.
He, I do enjoy how he smiles as he recalls him begging for mercy. Uh, you're saying there's more romantic stuff than that? Anyway, it only made her bite a little bit harder, which is fun. So, they get to the magic box. They start grabbing all the ingredients. Buffy makes fun of Spike's moping because,
Mhm.
it's fun to do that. And then he starts talking about the two of them, but Buffy calling him pathetic. Spike says that the two of them aren't friends. They never will be. They'll love each other till it hurts, and they'll shag and they'll fight until it kills them both. He says that love isn't brains, it's blood, and that he may be love's bitch, but he's man enough to admit it. I don't think that's a good thing to admit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
No.
Buffy and Angel are looking awkward at each other, of course. Lots of awkward looks in this show. We switch now to the factory. Ugh. Willow's trying to bust the door down. You can tell, not one of my favorite parts ever coming up.
Yeah.
Willow's trying to bust the door down. Xander finally wakes up. Willow sits with him. His memory's a little fuzzy here, but he remembers fighting Spike. She tells him they're in the factory and that Spike's making her do a love spell. Xander wants to
Mhm.
know what the options are. Will gives them three, each resulting in their death. Not great options,
Yeah. Not great
but
options at all.
but he didn't ask for great options. He just asked for options. Xander tells her that they're not going to die. Spike's drunk. He's going to get sloppy, and then Xander's going to make his move, just like he did at the chem lab, which wasn't great. But he falls while trying to stand. So Willow holds him here.
Mhm.
Then, and then the two of them start making out.
I hate this.
And the camera pans around slowly to the stairs, and we see
Cordy and
Oz and
Oz.
Cordelia walking down.
Yep.
And unfortunately for our two carousers, that super huge, large, heavy metal door made no sound at all. as the two
Yeah.
of them opened it.
Yeah.
Ugh. So the leches are caught, not red-handed, like red-lipped. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Three
I
people here. Yeah,
I absolutely hate this Xander and Willow stuff.
I
I
hated
can't
it.
tell
My
you
least,
enough.
I think I've mentioned before, my least favorite thing they ever did on the show.
Yeah.
Three people here are mortified. Oz is staying practical for now, as he usually is, and saying that they got to get out of there. Cordy starts running back up the stairs, but they break, and she falls through.
Yeah.
She gets
I
impaled on some rebar that for some
oh,
reason is sticking up underneath the stairs.
yeah. Hated this.
Yeah.
Like, why did Cordelia have to get like, physically hurt in this scene? She was already hurt enough by what she just witnessed.
I think if there's a book you could read which goes through a lot of what Charisma Carpenter had to go through on that show. But anyways,
Yeah.
uh, well, this was actually taken from her real life because when she was a kid, she got impaled on some rebar while playing. I think she was 5 years old. She has a bit of a scar, like here. I don't think it went absolutely right through her. I think it just went into her. I got impaled by some rebar too on my arm here. I got 40 stitches for that. Didn't go through me or anything like that.
I
So there
have
you go.
not been impaled by rebar.
Well, we have a club. No, you're not allowed in it. So,
I
uh,
guess.
Cordy just says that she fell here. Very, yes, this is very scary stuff for any Cordelia Chase fan at this moment. Meanwhile, Buffy, Angel, and Spike are finished their looting, which is all I can
Mhm.
imagine that they're doing. They're not there to pay for anything, are they? So they're on the street and they're met by the mayor's new committee, and they all come together and let nicely get to a mutual understanding because words, not fists or fangs, Adelia, is the truest way to set differences aside and move together as friends, allies, and dare I say family.
I mean, none of that happened.
Right. Everyone just starts fighting. Our numbers are now uh, outnumbered 13-3 by my count. And they do a good job fending them all off. Buffy does the old double stake on a couple red shirts, but they
Mhm.
reorganize and round Buffy and all et al. Back into the magic box, where they're for some reason allowed to barricade the window with a sliding bookshelf.
Yeah, I don't get
How's
this
that?
either.
There, it's a glass window. A that never breaks.
Yeah.
B, you just push the thing over or push it to the
Yeah.
side. They're
Yeah.
just there bare like up against the door. That makes no sense. Anyways,
Makes no sense.
it makes no sense because especially when they start just coming around through the unlocked back door, which nobody decided to check. Anyways, we go back to the factory. See Xander making his way down to Cordelia, and hear Willow say Oz has gone to go get help. We go back to the shop. Buffy stakes another vampire. We're doing the old classic here. One of my favorite things ever from was it from Innocence, where she when she pushed Angel through the glass cabinet and then through the top, and she does
Mhm.
that to another, just a red shirt guy. But it's always nice to see one of the classics. You know, Angel's just holding the door. You know what I mean? It's just, and the door, it just looks like it's made out of nothing. But we'll get back to that in a second. Anyways, he and Buffy make a plan to go to the roof, and then the door gets finally pushed down. So two vampires come in. One of them looks like he jumps on Angel at the end. I don't know if you noticed that, but that
Yeah.
I thought was super funny. Spike's fighting a couple of guys now. This is what I was going to get to. Buffy has trouble lifting this door off of Angel for some reason. That door may weigh 3 pounds. There's
Yeah.
nothing to it.
Door
I
looked
don't know.
very clumsy.
Yeah, this one not the best, not the best use of a prop. But anyways, she finally manages to get that 3 pound thing off him. That's when Angel notices the holy water bottles, which
Mhm.
is lucky. Spike takes care of his two pretty easily. We only see him stake the one though, for some
Yeah.
reason. The other one just kind of disappears. Now, the window finally gets broken here. Then they finally push that easily maneuverable mobile bookshelf out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Then these guys, unfortunately for them, get greeted with those holy water
Bottles of holy
bottles.
water, yeah.
It's like holy water grenades getting chucked at
Yep.
them, which is pretty good. Anyways, get to the end, they all run off. Turns out that all that Spike needed, all of his whining and stuff, could have been figured out with just a simple good fight. She
Yeah.
feels better now. You know, he tells he tells them all that the either right the Xander and Willow just at the factory. So he's gonna win back Drew the old fashioned way. He's going to kidnap and torture her until she falls in love with him again. Ah,
I mean, of course.
it's a tale as old as time, Delia. It really
Yep.
is classic. So we go back to the factory. Xander's telling Cordy to hold on here. Oh boy. She says she can't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When was the last time you saw this episode?
Probably when it aired.
Yeah. So I guess anybody who wasn't paying too close attention, this may be one of the best swerves they ever did on this show because she lets out a deep breath and then becomes very silent. It's Xander crying over top of her, saying,
Turns her
Cordy.
head away from him.
Yeah. The next shot's a funeral. You
Yeah.
see, and it's from a distance. We get some somber music, a preacher, saying whatever it is, prayer over a casket, and then we see Buffy and Willow walking past this funeral, discussing how Cordy's going to be okay, Adelia,
Yeah.
which is good. None
It
of
was
her
a good swerve.
vitals, none of her vitals were punctured. Luckily, I don't know
Yeah.
how it went through there and didn't puncture anything. But anyways, Xander's gonna go see her later that day. Willow is wrapped with guilt. Good. That's what I say. Good. She wanted everything for goodness sakes, and now she just wants Oz. Well, she should have thought of that before, shouldn't she? Buffy says to give it some time and prepare to grovel because she heard somewhere it works. Because Buffy had to grovel to her friends, for goodness sakes. It's not like she was
Mhm.
making out with her friends' boyfriends. Sander has brought Cordy to Flores now at the hospital, now that he's finally been allowed back in, but she's not looking at him. He starts to speak. She turns to him, and just as you think maybe she's going to say something nice, she tells him that he wants her to stay away from her. So, atta girl. Good for you, Cordy.
Yep.
He leaves and she starts to cry. So, yeah, Xander actually affected Cordelia Chase, which is crazy. At the mansion, Buffy tells Angel that she's not coming back. Spike was
Sure.
right. Yeah, they're not friends. She can fool everyone else, but not herself. Angel says he doesn't accept that. You know what I mean? But she's puts her foot down and steps back when he steps towards her, which is a start. He asks if
Mm-hmm.
there's any way they can still say each other, and then she says, you know, she says, tell me you don't love me. Like what it
And
said
he
in
can't do it.
yeah, it's just it's also what's said in I only have eyes for you as well.
Yeah.
So and then she leaves. He sits alone. Now we see Willow with her Pez. Oz in thought with his guitar, still with just the one string he knows how to put his fingers to, which is fun. Xander's in the library for some reason, putting away books. I
Yeah.
don't get this at all.
I don't get that at all either.
We see Cordy at the hospital, and we get to see a sad Buffy on the bench. I don't know, sad. Maybe not sad, but just a down Buffy on the bench. But
Forlorn.
yeah, it's good word. Good word. The show ends with Spike driving out of town, singing Sid Vicious's version of My Way, the same way he entered the episode. And that's it. That's Lover's Walk. Now,
I still
next
don't
time.
understand the title of this episode.
Yeah, there's no apostrophe for a reason. So I guess it just means that lovers come and go. Maybe that's what it means. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe they're just being too cute about it. Just it's a dumb name. So next week's episode makes all kinds of sense. Wish. Now, I will say to you, and I guess anyone who's watching, I think that this episode coming up is an easy top 5 Buffy episode all time. Uh, Introducing one of my all-time favorite characters, if briefly for now. And then she's going to get a larger role. Oh, did I say she? She will be getting a larger role later on even this season. So it starts with Cordy blaming Buffy for everything that happened for some reason. It's the only thing that really doesn't make sense to me in that episode. Wish is next week, and I can't wait to talk about it. Adelia, thanks so much for joining me on the Rewatchers Council.
Of
Actually, you're not
course.
even joining me for taking your seat at the Rewatchers Council. Uh, where can anybody find you elsewhere throughout the Let's Get Ready network?
You can find me on Blue Sky at adeliachambo.bsky.social. I've quit Twitter.
Right.
It's deactivated. I'm done with it.
Sure.
You can find me on Starting 11 with Snark over on the Highlights channel. That's Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. We go live talking about the week that was in the Premier League. Links to that channel are in the description of this episode. Please subscribe to this channel as well so that you can Watchers Council. Why you put that up?
That was
Why
fun.
did you put that up? The next Rewatchers Council, Thursday specific. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully Ferris will join us next week. And yeah. Snark, what about you?
Well, we got LGRN after Snark this weekend. You guys have your Thanksgiving down there. A couple of foreigners are gonna talk about your Thanksgiving this weekend, and Danny and I are going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about the Netflix Marvelverse, which will be fun. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess the Defenders, maybe
Iron Fist is the
Punisher.
only one I never made it through.
It's
I
yeah.
couldn't finish that first season. I heard the second season was slightly better, but I could not finish the first season of Iron
I don't
Fist.
think I finished the second season, to tell you the truth. Maybe I should watch it before we do this, because I think that's the last thing we did, isn't it? It was terrible. It was terrible, and especially
Yeah.
because I love that character so much. Power Man and Iron Fist were great comic
Totally
book.
miscast Danny Rand, but I thought Jessica Henwick as Colleen, whatever name, Colleen
Yeah,
Wing, was
yeah.
pretty good.
Colleen Wing. Yeah, very fun. Yeah, it's so bad. Anyways, what was this? I can't remember his name from Game of Thrones either off the top of my head, but whatever. So we got that going
Finn
on.
something.
Yeah, we also have. Uh, Maybe we'll be doing an episode of Playoff Beards, our NHL show coming up, and you mentioned the starting 11 over on the highlights channel as well. Guys, also join our Ko-fi page. There's plenty of tiers in there for you to join. It's like Patreon, but better. You know what I mean?
Yep. More user friendly, more creator family friendly. ko-fi.com/LGR_network.
Yeah, it's not a stuck up. You know what I mean? That's
There's a
Patreon.
link
Is
to
that a
that in
thing?
the description of this episode as well.
Very good. Adelia, thank you so much. I can't wait to talk about Wish next week live right here
Yeah.
on the Let's Get Ready Network. It'll be December. Can you imagine? Ugh.
And I know, I can't believe it's almost December.
Well, nothing says Christmas like Buffy. Guys, thanks very much. Have a good rest of your Thanksgiving, or if you're watching this in the future, day, I suppose. And we'll talk to you later. If I can remember to play this thing